Well, Edmonton Oilers players, including Zack Hyman, are speaking in Florida. Let's listen.
As a game in February where I guess maybe you don't have the headlights on this spot as much, but just kind of do your normal routine. And I'm going to go have my pregame meal. I'm going to take a nap and come back ready to go. And hopefully we'll be able to come out on the winning side tonight.
Zach, anything to add to that?
Sure. Yeah, it's our 6th elimination game, so we're used to being in this position. Obviously, it's the first time we have the ability to win, right, which is an amazing opportunity. But all those games you play as if it's a Game 7 because it's your last game of the season. So just treat it the same.
Left side, front row, Mark.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Zach. You've had several Game 7s here in terms of losing, you were going home. Mm-hmm. Does that make you better at this? Does it, you know, have you played this game maybe a couple times already?
Yes and no. Like, I think we had an actual Game 7 against Vancouver where both teams are, it's a Game 7, somebody's going home. So yeah, I think we've had experience in these moments, and obviously today's another animal, but you like to think that your experience will help you in those moments.
Right side, front row, Daniel.
Matias, as a boy growing up in Sweden, when did the Stanley Cup kind of hit your radar, and what was maybe your first memory of that championship series and something that you obviously wanted to strive for?
Great question. I don't even know if I remember clearly because it comes in later, obviously, because games are at 2 a.m. in the morning. We didn't have any social media back when I was growing up, and it was just, I think we had a weekly show where it was like a half-hour thing where they showed highlights from the NHL, but other than that, I didn't even know barely what it was. It was the video game, actually. It was kind of the thing that started to play that when I was, I don't know, 11, 12 years old maybe, and you could win this trophy. So I would say around then you start to obviously dream about it and think about it. But, I mean, to be honest with you, I was bypassed in my first draft. I wasn't really a high pick or anything like that. So to even have a realistic thought about it, it was way later in life and probably, I don't even know, maybe I was 18, 19, something like that.
Left side, front row, Jason.
Zach, you guys have talked a lot about, people that have doubted you and, proving people wrong. What do you say, though, about the people that have believed in you and supported you, all along, and a lot of the fans, going to be thousands of them in the building making the long flight here. What do you say to those fans and all the people who have supported you through this?
I mean, thank you, first and foremost, obviously. We're nowhere without the fans, and we have unbelievable, passionate fans. You saw it in Game 6, the energy, and I think even more impressive in Game 4 when we're down 0-3, and they were as loud as could be with the belief. And you flash back to even November when probably the rest of the league counted us out. We still had fans who came to games, supported us, really believed that, we were a good team and that we could come out of it. So we've got incredible fans, and we're extremely fortunate, and it'll be amazing to see how many show up tonight.
We'll take 3 more. Left side, third row, Cory.
Matias, Zach kind of had briefly touched on this, but the difference between this Game 7 with, finally this chance to win the cup as opposed to the previous 3 games where, you're fighting to get to the next one. Does that mindset change at all, or how do you kind of block out the fact that, okay, now we can win it as opposed to keeping that same mentality with your backs against the wall?
I think to me it's just it adds an extra little thing to it, obviously a positive thing. So I think in our minds and in our locker room, we're just going to approach it the same way. I think that's what makes us successful as a hockey club, is taking it step by step, not get too ahead of ourselves. And I mean, at the end of the day, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. It's a big game. I get it. We all want to win it, like no question about it. But there's going to be a team losing tonight, regardless of how the game goes. And just kind of, I think in my mind, you play better when you're relaxed and when you're just not too tense. So again, trying to approach it in a relaxed way, and it's a hockey game. And obviously we want to come out on the winning side, but one team is not going to do that, and hopefully they'll learn from it. But again, we're just trying to play the way we have the last 3 games. I think the way this playoff run has gone, we've had so many tough tests when it comes to game sevens earlier or all these elimination games, and we've always risen to the occasion. So I'm just trying to lean. I think we all lean on that experience as a group, and I really love the mindset we have in our locker room with that. So I'm confident going into it.
Right side, fourth row.
Hi, guys. Question for Zach. The last time a Canadian team won the Cup was your 1-year-old anniversary, I believe. You've played in Canada your whole pro career. You chose to stay in Canada when you were a free agent. I was just wondering what this Stanley Cup draw means to you as a player, as a hockey fan, and what about the chance to put this to rest?
Yeah, I mean, as a hockey fan, I mean, to the earlier question about Mattias, I think Daniel asked it when he started thinking about the Cup. As a Canadian hockey fan, it's like one of my earliest memories is thinking about the Cup as a hockey player. So I think it's embedded in our culture and who we are. Almost all, young hockey fans, like my kids will grow up, and I'm sure one of their first hockey memories will be thinking about, dreaming about winning a Stanley Cup if they choose to play hockey. So it's very much embedded in Canadian culture. And it's how I grew up, so it would mean a lot to, I think, all Canadians, regardless of if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan or not. Especially the way the series has gone, and I think we've roped a lot of people into believing in us and making it a good story, and everybody likes a good story. So, yeah, I hope we have all of Canada's support. I know we do, and we feel it, and it's a special opportunity we have.
Left side, fifth row, Tony, last one.
Good morning, Mattias. When it comes to your past experience in the Stanley Cup final back in 2017, what are some of the great lessons you obtained from then that you maybe changed your approach this time around when it came to maybe communicating with your teammates or the way you approached it? What are some of the great lessons you had?
Well, funny enough, I thought my biggest lesson was you can't really dip your toe in the water because it'll be over sooner than later. And sure enough, we didn't do a great job of that. But here we are, Game 7, right? So I don't know. It's funny with hockey sometimes, and I remember somebody said before the playoffs, I think it was from Vegas, where it was like, well, you're thinking about who you can potentially play in the first round or second round or what side you end up on, but I think the guy, I don't know who it was, said that don't script the playoffs. Don't script your journey.
Hey, we've been listening to Edmonton Oilers players Zack Hyman and Matias Ekholm speaking ahead of Game 7 against the Florida Panthers tonight, the final hurdle in winning the coveted Stanley Cup. Hyman saying one of his earliest memories is thinking about winning the Cup, something they might just do tonight. Ekholm says the Oilers have faced some tough tests, but have always risen to the occasion. A win tonight for the Oilers would bring the Stanley Cup home to Canada for the first time in 31 years.